Tonight the creeps are taking over.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
All right, welcome to another episode of Corrosive Radio. I'm your host, Brendan, and with me in studio are the Dans. We got Dan Sr. and Dan Jr. We call him DJ to keep it straight. And we also got comedian actor Brett Ivan. Brett, how you doing?
Hey, good. How you doing, Brendan?
Okay, guys, how you doing?
We're doing all right. Doing okay. Just peachy. It's my birthday, so.
Oh, happy birthday! I didn't know that.
Happy birthday!
Throwing that
Wow.
in.
Yeah,
So
look at
casual.
I just do that.
Listen
Wow,
to this guy.
man.
So casual. He's just,
Yep.
oh yeah, it's my birthday.
43 years young.
Oh,
Wow.
Actually, no.
34, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But that's why I was tweeting that, because, you know, I freaking hate that. You know that when people come and they're like, well, I'm 72 years young.
Yeah, well, that's like what Willard Scott used to do that all the
Yeah,
time.
like, what-
She's 110 years young today. Look at that smile.
It's
She
such
knew like
an
she's crapping in her pants.
I mean, I love it. Like, what is the age at which you can start doing that? You don't hear, like, I'm 19 years young today. It's always, you know, old freaking geezers that use that as some kind of, like, a glass half full type thing. You
How
know?
you doing there, young man?
I'm 87 years young. No, you're not. You're an old bastard. Let's not lie.
And you're boring as hell.
Exactly.
All right, guys, you are listening to Corrosive Radio. You can check out our homepage, www.corrosiveradio.com. You can live chat with us on Twitter during the show. You can leave a comment on the page. And if you want to get on the show, you can call 201-580-3712. Tonight we have comedian Andy Haynes coming off his Comedy Central half-hour special. You can check him out on Conan. I left the link up on Twitter.
I still love that you call him Conan.
Conan.
I just think it's like
Conan.
it's so insulting,
Conan,
but in a
like
great way.
Conan's.
Yeah, I love it. Conan the Barbarian. He has a
Conan the
talk show.
Conan.
And if you missed our show last week, sometimes, folks, you got to listen to after 11 because sometimes we go back right on the air. We had a little bit of a magical moment last week when deluded comedian Pete DiLorenzo called in, and we had somebody impersonating him. Now, we didn't know at the time that this person was impersonating him, but it was basically who was the real Pete DiLorenzo. So you can check that out. The YouTube video is up on our homepage,
Yeah.
and it's going to be up there for a while.
Yeah, I mean, even though we've gotten threatened by him, or one of them, but we're not even sure who threatened us.
No,
but we
I
think
mean,
we have a good idea
did
who
we
the
do?
real
What
Pete
did we do
DiLorenzo
wrong?
was, but that got nasty, and like we're not allowed to like he's the only one that can do impersonations. Like if we have a listener that does impersonations, they can't call up a radio, call us up and do impersonations. It's ridiculous.
And if he has his way, we'll be off the internet.
Yeah, we'll be
Yeah.
off the
Pete,
internet.
may I still use Google, though? Because it really comes in handy. I mean, if you could just be so nice as to bestow that privilege upon us, that'd be great.
It's unbelievable, man.
He blew up our comment section, leaving like close to 118 comments, and it's the same three people.
Yeah, and I think they're all him.
Yeah, I'm sure they are.
No, well, one of these people. Did you see his cheerleading section here?
There was a woman there that would look like
Yes.
a total pig.
Whoa, that's what I'm going to show you right now. I'm not going to say her name, but look at that face. Look at that
A face that only a mother could love.
Doesn't it look like a beard is about to grow on that face any second?
You know what's sad, and I'm not even trying to
disgusting.
pile on, but the beard would do her some good.
Wasn't she in
That's sad.
Poltergeist?
Right.
I thought
house is clear.
I thought she was throwing food to the rancor.
It's a man, baby.
Hey, a beard,
So-
a beard can be a nice addition. I mean,
Absolutely.
you don't
Well,
have
my-
cover up. So I
you know-
use one, covers up a lot of my face. The less people see that, the better.
I didn't know that Pete DiLorenzo or whoever. I didn't even know this guy was going to be on the radio show until like right before the radio show that night.
Yeah.
And I've met him and I like him. I think he's a decent guy, and I saw his act. And
Yeah, you've
I
spoken highly of him in the past.
I did. I did. I don't know, a show or two shows with him over the years, and no problem.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, he just got nasty, and it was all like in fun. Even the guy who impersonated, we don't even know who that guy is.
No.
He was having fun, and he knew all Pete's stuff.
It
He was
sounded
just
like that
promoting
guy
him.
might have even been a fan of Pete's for him to know.
He knew
all
everything.
About, yeah, it does. It sounds like it's someone who actually has followed Pete's career and things like that. And for the record, I mean, it's just one of those things where we don't always know exactly what's gonna occur before it happens. I mean, there was a thing that was set to to happen, and if things don't always go according to plan, we can't always be held responsible, you know?
And you know what? There's also a thing in show business. They always say, the expression, just spell my name right.
Right.
Like, publicity,
Hey,
good
no
publicity.
such thing as bad publicity.
Exactly.
Right,
We
right.
just promoted this guy's gig, like, for an hour.
Yeah, we checked. It was the correct date and everything.
Wait,
the correct
you mean the
website.
one gig that he has in July?
The one gig
Well,
that he
hey,
has.
It's one more than what I have, so...
Yeah, I
Same
mean,
here as well.
whatever. That's the only gig we know about. Or
Right,
that's
right.
publicized. I mean, he may have some other shows coming up. Who the hell knows? But I was like ridiculous that would. I mean, I wish somebody would talk about me for an hour.
Right.
In my career.
You're on our show, and we don't even talk about
I
you for
know.
an hour.
No one wants to hear it.
I don't know if you guys think I should still pursue lessons. Do you have any?
Forget about it.
I think you should, but just don't let him know that you were part of this debacle.
Don't tell him.
Yeah.
And
Did you
Dan,
because I was still-
did you read the section of his? Did you read the comment on his lessons page?
I'm not sure that I did. No.
It says I won't promise you the stars. I'll make you one.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What
I
a
mean,
lovely play on
yeah,
words.
I mean, I would be certainly still open to it if but I don't know. After that episode, it
Sounds
leaves
to me
me
like-
with
be
some.
honest
It
with
leaves
you.
me with some doubts.
If what we think was the fake one, if what we think was the real one actually turned out as it seems to be the fake one, I think you should go with that guy. If he doesn't have an acting school, you should find him. He was
You
pretty
think
good.
so?
Oh
Yeah.
my God, that Pacino and the Archie
Bunker.
Bunker. Whoa, my goodness.
all very current, topical,
The kids love a good Archie Bunker these days.
cutting edge.
They love an Archie Bunker, But I just love the character defamation that or deformation, as the person
Right.
put it. But still, there was nothing of the sort. We didn't defame anyone. Everything was just done in as just from like we said, as we were talking to the gentleman himself.
And it's a radio show. We're supposed to talk, and we're also supposed to throw some comedy in there too, if
Absolutely.
the opportunity arises. And this guy had no
One
sense
would
of
think,
humor.
one with Brett. Is this something that's common with comedians? Are there a lot of guys that, while they're great at dishing it out, they're great at telling jokes? They're not
Yes.
comfortable being the butt of one, or they're not comfortable getting anything back.
Absolutely, and sometimes I'm like that too.
Really?
I must.
Okay.
I admit that sometimes I'll take a jab and I was like, "Wait a minute, that was a little over the line." What do you mean over the line?
Right,
But yeah,
right,
they're
yeah.
super sensitive and they're jealous of other comedians. They're
Sure.
envious of anybody that's more successful than you.
Right.
Or if you see on Facebook that somebody has a gig that you should have had, or you wish you
Yeah.
could have had, or there's resentment. So, but his the Pete thing is utterly ridiculous. He should have been thrilled that anybody would give a shit about himself or anything. Because really, let's be honest here. I've never seen him on television. He says he's been on a million different things, and I haven't seen him on a goddamn thing except for the commercials that are on YouTube.
And seriously, if you have an impersonator or an imposter, whatever you want to call it, then you've somewhat made it.
Wow,
and
that's
you know what I mean?
amazing.
That's actually kind of a compliment. I wish somebody would impersonate
I'm
me.
actually getting pissed off at him as I speak. I'm ready to fucking snap.
Can the real Brett Eidman call in today so that we can?
But after the events of last week, I got a certified letter
from our producer?
from our producer Larry Sandberg,
All right, go ahead.
who actually was responsible for putting Pete DiLorenzo on the show.
Oh,
I can't
okay.
wait to hear it.
So, so it says to Brendan, Brett, Dan, and DJ, and the staff of Corrosive Radio, as per the events of this past week, I am leaving my duties of producer of Corrosive Radio.
Why is he going to leave?
Effective immediately. Go fuck yourself, Larry Sandberg.
Wow,
Certified letter.
He must be a big Pete DiLorenzo fan.
I don't know what
I don't know what that's
just
about.
quit.
Wait, is that?
he
is
quit?
that- Is this for real?
This is for real. This is a
leaving.
certified letter.
Jesus.
He's done.
Wow.
So we have to
Wow.
find another producer.
Oh, man, I never got to file that sexual discrimination lawsuit. That
You
was
better
going
do
to-
now.
Yeah, I know, man.
You have about I think a year to file.
Okay, good.
Probably still have a little bit of time.
So Larry's gone.
Can he touch me yet again? Because that would be helpful.
Well, Larry
Larry's
wasn't
gone.
that great anyway.
No, let's
I
be
mean, he was
honest.
always sick or hungover or something.
I liked him.
Yeah, I mean,
I kinda-
honestly,
I
how many
kinda
times
looked
have
up
we
to
even
him
seen
as-
this guy? It's like, you can barely remember when you see him. It's
I know, but he had some good ideas. He made some phone calls.
Yeah.
What the hell?
I
I'm
mean,
with
he
you on
literally phoned his job in.
It's true, because he's hardly ever here. I
That's
mean,
a
I
great
saw him
point.
once or twice.
I know, but it was such an honor to have him that we felt like, wow, it's worth it, even if he's not going to be as hands-on as we would have liked. You know,
Yeah,
I mean,
who
to have
knows?
somebody like Larry Sandberg doing
he
it.
couldn't even tell us this in person though. He had to write
A certified letter.
I mean, that's true to form.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
if he
if
came in,
stranger
you would be
came
like,
in.
"What? Why are you coming in?"
Exactly.
I don't know. I feel somewhat betrayed, though. I mean, I looked up to him somewhat.
Well, he doesn't
somewhat
want
of a
any
father figure to
confrontation.
me.
That's another thing. You avoid confrontation doing it this way.
Right,
No one
right.
likes to go to you. No one likes to badmouth you right in front of your face.
Yeah.
Or say something negative. So he certified it.
Yeah,
So I signed for it, and that was the end of it.
Well,
Okay.
there
Did
you
any
go.
of you guys get the chance to read through all of these comments?
Well,
read through
I
some.
mean, it was nice that they referenced our past dealings with,
Yeah, that's
stuff that
that's
we've
the-
been in trouble before.
that's the
I mean,
best
it's
one.
interesting.
What,
Yeah.
what was this trouble?
No,
Just so you
it's-
could refresh my
no,
memory.
It's just because we're a show that pushes boundaries. So naturally, people are going to understand that we must have been had some FCC or Internet FCC version of things in the past.
Yeah,
right?
this is definitely my favorite comment. Oh yes, no doubt. And rumor has it they have been in trouble before on the airwaves.
and just like you
It's
said,
only
Brett,
our 7th show.
but like Brett pointed out, I mean, you want to talk about no publicity is bad publicity. That's perfect. I love the fact that there's rumors about our all our hijinks.
Oh, yeah, we're so badass.
Yeah, I know. I feel like a shock jock already. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like our reputation precedes us, even if it's just purely fictional. I mean,
Yeah.
I did. I liked all of it. I mean, I'm sad to hear that the great Joe Franklin is going to personally sue us as well.
Here's another. I got my complaints with him too. He's got no power in the industry anymore anyway. So he's as useless as a nun's. You know what?
You're not kidding.
What did Joe? I mean, he was a newscaster, wasn't he?
No, he had a show on Channel 9 for a million years.
Oh, I know who you're thinking of though, Brandon. I know. Yeah.
Who was he thinking of?
There was a guy. He used to be on like Channel 9 or something like a while ago, right?
Lloyd Lindsay Young?
No, it was.
Hello,
I had a friend-
Garfield.
No, yeah, no, it wasn't anybody like that. There was a guy who had kind of like a Maury Povich current affair type show, and he was like one of those he was like a newscaster, right? Do I have it right? Like there was a news.
He was like Joe Franklin, my friends.
I don't know. Just the name Joe Franklin sounds like somebody I should be listening to at 11 o'clock at night.
Well, that's about when he was. That's about when he was on. He was on later than us, but he used to have
you're on the air, Joe Franklin show.
And this is a wonderful singer from Garfield, New Jersey. You're gonna love her. She's making all kinds of noise in the business, and shielding nobody.
She's making noise with that cacophony, with that incessant.
But every
singing
once
that
in a while, he would get actually a guest on there,
Yeah,
a major stage, like he had Bing Crosby,
Right.
Bill Cosby.
He was like a local guy, though, sort of like. Do you remember
Channel 9?
Yeah, like Floyd.
Floyd was great.
Right, you know,
He
what I'm
still
talking
is.
about,
He's still
right?
Uncle Floyd.
Right. Uncle
Uncle
Floyd is
yeah.
another one. I actually met him personally.
That's a great
so-
talent, actually.
Yeah, I don't really, but I know that he's someone that sort of you got to be from Jersey to sort of know Uncle
Right,
Floyd.
because he was on a UHF station
Right,
and then
right.
cable, and then he had an NBC show for like a week or two.
Right. And for the record, there was no defamation at all of Joe. All that happened is that we discussed with whom we thought was Pete DiLorenzo that he was in a movie
Mentor.
called
Yeah,
Mentor.
and all I did was put his picture up of the guy that I thought was Joe Franklin.
Which it is. I think it is.
That was Joe Franklin?
Joe Franklin, my
It
friends.
seems like he has a problem with certain names being mentioned. It seems
Yeah,
like he
right.
finds an offense to that.
Yeah.
Well, the guy-
the mere mentioning of a name.
One of the I don't know who it was, but they mentioned even a guy named Carl Richards. Now I know Carl Richards, and he's a country and western singer from like up north in New York.
Okay.
So one of the guys mentioned his name, and then Pete, both Pete's mentioned his name, but he came out of like left field. Like both of them mentioned Carl Richards, and Carl Richards is a really nice guy and does a public access show, and I think one of the Pete's have been on his show and all that stuff. So I don't know where it kind of all over the place that who was the fake Pete DiLorenzo knew a hell of a lot about the real Pete DiLorenzo. So it's really bizarre, that
Yeah,
somebody could study
yeah.
somebody so much like that and
Right.
then impersonate him and then do characters and the whole deal.
Absolutely.
That's incredible.
Yeah, no,
That's dedicated.
It is.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
someone
That's
who's
somewhat
dedicated.
stalkerish, but let's be honest.
I would go after somebody a little bit more successful, that was kind of an obscure kind of deal.
Yeah, I know. It's
Bizarre.
it was like my attempt at impersonating Nipsey Russell. It didn't go over very well. I tried.
Did you do some poetry?
I did. Yeah.
It's just all about carving an extremely obscure niche.
Right.
Yeah, not even of yourself, of someone else.
Yes,
like-
it's
it's
the most
so-
specific thing.
It's almost like saying, here's my impersonation of my third grade teacher.
Right. It's like, oh, that seems so perfect. I
That was
know.
dead on.
But it did, and I'm going to even say this, it seemed rather strange that someone, I hate to keep harping on it, but it seems odd that he would react in such a such a heavy way, claiming that, well, we would know his voice. It's not like he's Joe Pesci or he has some sort of distinctive voice that everyone's going to immediately recognize. I mean, like we said, we weren't too familiar with hearing his voice. We've only sort of seen him. We
couldn't find any of those clips he claimed he had.
Right, I know. And those that we could find and basically involved him doing a Scarface, Tony Montana.
Which I thought was great.
Right.
And, in their local, like an accountant's commercial?
Right. So things like that. So, I mean, we don't know what the real voice sounds like, or at least I can speak for myself, but I don't.
He's like, let him do your taxes or we'll kick your ass.
Right, exactly. See, a great character can change his voice to the point where you don't even recognize him.
Absolutely.
So how could I possibly know if it was him calling? Yeah. If I didn't know, that's a testament to how great he is.
That's a great point.
Say hello to my little pencil.
I am interested, and I'm certainly not bad mouthing the company, but I am interested in any company that wants to use a crime lord as their spokesperson, a fictional crime lord. I mean, it's just it's like it just seems like hilarious. Like, hi, this is Adolf Hitler for car insurance. It's like, well, I'll shop where Hitler shops. I mean, let's be honest.
Don't call the general.
Right, that would get my attention.
Führer insurance.
Yeah, that would get your attention.
Yeah, I mean, I don't quite get it.
See, I'm going to give them my business.
Yeah.
We keep our prices down because we don't deal with the Jews.
That actually works.
Don't nickel and dime us.
No, I know. I can imagine. That's a good one. So,
My favorite part of that exchange last week though was Pete mentioning Joe Franklin, Brett going, "I know Joe Franklin," Dan Senior going, "I know Joe Franklin too." I go, "Yeah, I know him too," and then you go, "DJ, isn't he your uncle?" DJ goes, DJ kind of like pulls away from the mic. He goes, "I think I've heard of him."
Exactly.
Joe Franklin, my friends.
Yes.
Matzahs
indeed.
by Stripes. Whatever, those Stripes?
All right, Andy, come on, call in, bro.
But I had an experience with Joe Franklin.
And if not Andy, I hate to interrupt, but if not Andy, perhaps an Andy Haynes impersonator can call in.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
I'll get on the phone.
Certainly open to that as well.
Larry would be on the phone immediately.
Absolutely.
Lining that shit right up.
Oh, Larry.
We'll have to replace him if he's replaceable.
Man.
No. Joe Franklin, a friend of mine said you got to call Joe to try to get on his show.
Sure.
So I called up Joe, and he says, "No problem. Let me look at your stuff. Blah, 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 blah. Call me back on Tuesday." So Tuesday comes rolling by. I call him back. He says, "All right, great. I'm going to put you on the show, but do me a favor. Call me back on Thursday." So I called him back on Thursday. "All right, Brett. I got 5 guys working in the field on your behalf. Call me back on Tuesday." So I said, just as a goof, I'm going to call him every single week for a year.
Right.
And see if I ever get on the show.
Sure.
Never got on the show. And I would see him in an elevator once in a while, going to an audition or whatever. I say, "Hi, Joe. I'm Brett Eidman." We talk on the phone. He says, "Oh yeah, how you doing? I'm going to put you on the show. Call me on Thursday." I said, "Yeah, I know you've been saying that to me." He said, "No, I'm going to get you on. I have people working on the field on your behalf." He didn't know me. He didn't know. He just bullshitting me for a whole fucking year.
Yeah.
So I take from that is he didn't want you on the show.
He's just full of shit.
He's the kind of guy that can't say no, which is really hilarious because it seems like showbiz is filled with a bunch of, honestly, some fucking pussies that are just afraid to be like, no or yes, or actually like, I don't like you, I do like you, I want this, I don't want this. Everyone's afraid to give a clear answer. Everything's like, yeah, sure, baby, come on, just keep calling in, or, we'll worry, make it happen. And then if it can't happen, it's not me, it's the producers. It's, it's always someone else.
And my friends have I even dropped my friend's name to him. There was a couple of people that were on his show.
Yeah.
And
can you drop your friend's name here too, so we know? Drop it.
I'll drop it. Chris Brown, a great
the guy who beat up Rihanna?
No, not him. Another one, a white guy. He's a singer-songwriter guy. Great.
Did he beat up Rihanna?
Talent.
Because that'd be great. Imagine getting beaten up by
two Chris Browns.
Two Chris Browns.
Yeah. A guy named Danny Quinn was on his show.
Is he related to Colin Quinn?
No.
All right.
Is another singer-songwriter. He does a lot of Irish stuff. So those guys had great success with Joe Franklin. I had zero. So it's not a defamation of character if I say Joe Franklin sucks. No,
you're actually putting your personal opinion out there, and you actually have a real opinion.
I'm allowed to say that.
I've never met him.
You lied to me for how long?
Yeah, no, it doesn't sound good. It really doesn't. I don't really like when people,
bullshit me.
Yeah, don't string me along. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, you ever ask a girl out and then she's like, "Oh yeah, that sounds great. Yeah, that's super, and I'll take your number down and let me make." And you're just like, listen, all right, don't do the act. Yeah. Just if you want to, I've always had better luck with girls that would just be like, yeah, sure. Surprisingly, they would be the ones that would call or would be, sort of welcoming my calls as opposed to the ones who are like, wow, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. I'd love to, shoot pool, or I'd love to go get some coffee. Oh, I can't wait. It's going to be this Saturday, right? It's like
they're expending all their energy
exactly.
beforehand. And they don't have enough.
But I would almost just acting out like it's like listen, it's not the greatest thing ever. Just yes or no.
I would call his office. And he had rejects working in his office,
right?
And his office was trashed. I was in there a couple of times. There's garbage and crap all over the place.
Is this in Garfield as well?
No, it's in Manhattan. And you'd call him up, and you have a direct line to his office, and then you hear like, "Don't work in the office." I said, "Hi, can I please speak to Joe? Hold on a minute, Joe, phone call." Then he would be like, "Yeah, hello." I'd say, "Hi, Joe. This is Brett. Hey, how you doing, Brett? I'm gonna I'll call me back on Thursday. I'm gonna have a lot of guys working. Okay, thank you, Joe. You got it. No.
Wow.
And then I'll call back on Thursday. Hi, can I please speak to Joe Frank? Hold on, man. Joe."
It's great that he employs people from the Special Olympics.
It's like the bag. It's like the people that bag the stuff at the grocery shop.
Absolutely. Well, listen, you got a couple career options. You can either bag groceries, you can work for Joe Franklin. Exactly.
Or both.
Yeah, exactly. Well, because let's be honest, neither one pays especially
Hey, Joe, Brett's on the phone. That's what it was like. Brett's on the phone. How you doing, Brett? Yeah, I'm gonna call me back on Thursday.
Wow. It's like the exact opposite of a lot of Manhattan places where they basically now the current trend is to hire receptionists that have an English accent because it's just looked at as like, it sounds so classy. Yeah. He's going the opposite way. Right. He's taking someone that actually sounds like, wow, I'm calling like a warehouse of mongoloids, and it's just like. And you're like,
I'm not even lying about this or even exaggerating. That's the deal.
Do you think it's because this will make him look good? It's an idea. It's like almost walking around with an ugly guy so that you look better.
He probably didn't have to pay him. He's probably a cheap fuck. And he says, "Look, I'm going to cut you a break. I'm going to give you $2 an hour, and I'll get you a chocolate bar." Thank you, Uncle Joe.
Right.
That's it.
And just to be clear, for any legal proceedings in the future, that's just your speculation. We don't know for a fact that his employees were unpaid.
Look, there's going to be no legal action.
I know.
This guy has been threatening for a week, and I've seen nothing.
All right.
Just like his bookings on his calendar.
Oh my goodness.
Now
you're in anger.
Yeah.
Yes.
No. We love you.
That
Pete, we love you.
That may be factual.
No, what you've known him before. You have a better impression. Last week was my first impression of him.
Right, that's true.
All right,
yes, and to be fair,
start.
And somehow, I don't know how he did it, but he got my cell phone number and was calling me at 4 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, that's not cool.
Wow.
And that's kind of creepy. So
it actually is. He's a man with connections.
Maybe. But the connections only go so far because nobody showed up here at my house.
No, I've noticed. Or at his shows. But I'm just kidding, folks. That's all.
Well, I still like Pete, and I also thought he was very entertaining. Both of the Petes were very entertaining.
I have to admit, I
enjoyed
liking the what we now consider as the fake one. I kind of like. I mean, for God's sakes, did you hear when he did Pacino? I mean, hoo-ha! Oh my God!
I thought I was watching Son of a Woman.
You're not kidding. So, hopefully we'll get some more comedians angry either at us or at other comedians.
All comedians are angry.
Yeah, exactly. We just want to pit them again. It's almost like a comedian battle royale here at Corrosive Radio. That's kind of what we're going for, is if we could just get people to come on and air their insecurities and their hatred of their fellow comedians. That would be great.
Now, Pete did say that he tried to call in on time.
No, there's a record. There's everything is. There's a digital.
This is
record.
a first-class operation here, at Brett, as I'm sure you know.
There's a digital record. I mean,
I'm wondering if Andy has the same phone number.
Yeah. No, you know what?
We can tweet out at him to see if he's. Are
we being stood up? Is that what's happening?
No.
Yeah. Well, okay. First of all, by the way, like last week we were stood up by the Kung Fu Hillbilly, who, by the way, ended up being a nice guy. He got back to us, and he just said, "Look, I'm very sorry. I had some personal things I was
These
going
are all
through."
nice guys,
right? Well, he seems like, I don't know, from what I've seen on his Facebook thing, he writes a little too well to be the character that he might be.
It is a character. It is a character.
Well, okay. You're saying it, not me. I don't want to anger the Kung Fu Hillbilly. I might get a Judy chop to my neck, and nobody wants that.
But watch out for that.
Yeah, but he's doing it well. I would love to get a chance to speak to him, whether he's in character or the person behind it. But perhaps he'll call in if he can ever figure out time zones.
So did he figure that out? That's the question.
That I think was just a misunderstanding.
Wouldn't it be great if he keeps calling it like every time except the show? Like he's calling it today at 4 a.m. You wait. It's
what time zone is he calling from?
We don't know.
Yeah, he's in Tennessee, which is and part
An hour? No.
It can either be Eastern or Central.
Yeah, it could be either Eastern or Central. So that's why I said I don't know exactly what time zone you're in.
What time zone is Garfield, New Jersey?
Twilight Zone.
No time. Exactly. Well, there you go. Exactly. That's just there's apparently nothing there. I don't.
No, Garfield. I mean, I used to live in Garfield, and I mean, during the time that I lived there, there was 2 murders. For the 3 years that there was 2 murders. I watched the convenience store get robbed, and at night you would go to sleep listening to the sound of gunfire coming from Passaic.
And that pesky cat that's always walking around. He's always so hungry for lasagna. I can never figure that guy out.
And there was a woman. There was a woman who used to go up and down the street, trying to sell balloons.
Oh, how convenient.
You know what? I mean, I can't. Here we are.
Hold on. Welcome to Corrosive Radio. Is this Andy Haynes?
Yeah, hey, sorry about that, man.
Yeah, no problem, brother. How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm driving on the freeway. That's why I forgot to call.
Oh, man, if you could get in an accident right now, it would be ratings gold. I mean, if you could just do that for us or somehow possibly kill someone.
I have a piece of shit anyway, so.
That's totally your call, though.
Yeah. We're just putting it out there. If you want to help us out, that would be, a car accident, some sort of death or maiming, perfect.
Yeah, I can do like a crime spree.
A crime spree?
Yeah, with us on the phone the entire time. I mean, that's radio you haven't heard elsewhere.
Hey, Andy, listen. I emailed you right after I saw your Comedy Central's half-hour special. But you know what I don't know is did that just come out or is that old?
No, it just came out.
Wow! Congratulations.
What was that?
I said congratulations.
Oh, thanks very much.
Yeah. I usually leave those things on as background noise, those Comedy Central half-hour specials. But when you did the joke about the guy going to AA and like, I woke up and the sea was on fire, and you're like, well, I don't belong here. That's when my ears really perked up because I had a similar experience. I went to AA one time and realized that I don't belong there.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the 12-step program, although I am a fan of sobriety to some extent. Well, from alcohol.
Yeah, well, I
still smoke a lot of pot.
I agree with you, Andy, on that one. This is Brett Eidman speaking. How you doing?
I'm good. Yeah.
Cool, man. I think that those 12-step programs, they're like they have a thing where they say you come from a dysfunctional family and blame it on your family, and then you go to the next meeting, they say, you know what? Don't blame it on your family, blame it on you. So they flip flop on who to place the blame on.
Yeah, they kind of like bait you in, and then they crush you.
Yeah,
I need to find the one that just says blame it on Mexicans.
It's just like you can't drink booze. You found out the hard way. You can't drink booze. That's the short story, and it's tough, but move on.
Exactly.
Don't need to call my mom.
That depresses me. I can't move on.
Well, it's just a matter of you got to have those, like that social group that'll make sure you're not peeing on anybody or fighting, someone.
Definitely.
And you can keep it up. I just didn't have those kind of friends.
I take it you're not drinking right now, right?
You're not drinking or driving, are you?
You saw his comedy. He's sober.
Of course. So
well, I'm kind of sober. I mean, somebody in the program would say I wasn't because I don't go to meetings, first of all, but also because I smoke a lot of pot. But I don't have problems with pot. I don't ever try to kiss my friends' wives when I'm high on pot.
So you've never gone postal on pot. You kind of keep it low key when you're on pot.
I've gone postal on some peanut butter pretzels.
Well, there you go. That will work.
Yeah.
So how long have you been living now in New York City? I understand you're from Washington originally, right?
He's in L.A. Come on, guys.
Well, I mean,
I'm in L.A. I live in L.A. I'm actually driving on the 101, wearing sunglasses and a Dodgers hat.
Nice.
I lived in New York for 4 years. I lived there from 2008 until last January, and then I moved to L.A. and I'm out here now.
Yeah, because I heard you on one of the late night specials talking about what it was like living in New York. So I'm just curious, when you come from a place, you're from around Seattle, correct?
Yeah, Seattle proper.
How do the cities compare? I mean, now you went to New York, then you go to, you're in L.A. I mean, those are some big cities. How is Seattle compare to those? I mean, is it kind of like a small town type deal, or what's the sort of the genuine feeling there?
I mean, Seattle has, Seattle has all the bad stuff that a city can have, and it's got good stuff too. But New York is just a beast unto itself. That city is it's a whole nother level. It was hard to move there from Seattle because Seattle's very low key. People are non-confrontational. It's really green and natural. And New York's just intense, man. That city, you gotta figure out. There's something very like Zen about it. You gotta figure out how to be in the river and not fight against it. And it just beat the shit out of me. I was a mover in New York for 4 years.
Oh wow, yeah, that's tough work. It's real tough work.
Yeah.
So wait, Andy, are you saying you were a mover while you were doing some of the late night shows?
Yeah, I had to move for about, I did Fallon in 2010, September of 2010, and I moved until probably last August.
Okay.
Well,
all right.
I'm much more of a shaker myself, but I just kid people, that's all. But I'm curious to know. Yeah, I'm curious to know what's sort of been your experience now coming into your own in the world of comedy, like. We hear a lot about rivalries and about we were just talking before you even called in about how comedians often don't have the best sense of humor when it comes to their own acts and things like that. Have you had any sort of run-ins with other comedians? Are there other comedians that you really sort of look down upon? And would you kindly name names if you can?
I mean, I don't really have a problem with anybody's act unless it's like ostensibly racist or sexist. Like the whole rape joke thing, I don't really care one way or the other. It's whatever. There's some guys that are assholes. They're assholes, and there's also some guys that are just jaded. They've been doing it too long to give a shit what you have to say. But I don't have any rivalries. I kind of stay out of the conflict.
And that's a good reason to move to L.A. from New York, because New York is like. It's like you said. It's really, really intense.
Yeah, I mean, we a lot of times what happens is comics will they'll try to jab somebody, usually like a friend of theirs or an acquaintance, and then backfire because a lot of people they like to talk, but they're very sensitive when people talk to them. But I think for the most part, it's just a group of maniacs. So you're going to get some interesting stuff. Inevitably.
All right. That kind of what you said about the rape jokes and being jaded and the racist humor. That leads me into my next question here, Andy. It's that the nature of comedy over the past, I'd say 13, maybe 15 years has really changed. It's gone from that sitcom style of humor to more graphic, in your face, down and dirty, racist, sexist jokes. The top comics today are Amy Schumer, Daniel Tosh, and I have nothing against it. I love it, but you don't seem to be that way. Why do you think that comedy has changed like that?
Well, honestly, I don't think it's a bad thing. I like that people are being themselves. I think that it raises the whole kind of art form. If I want to be pretentious, but I just think I think people feel a certain way and they're allowed to express themselves a little bit more vocally, but I also don't think it's bad. I mean,
I don't think it's bad either.
A little bit racist, and if you are a little bit racist and you want to talk about it in a way where it's like, man, I kind of feel like a dumb shit. I'm a racist. Mm-hmm. I think that's a lot more cathartic than pretending that you're not racist.
Well, there you
go. No, I understand. I mean, like I said, I love it.
Yeah, he's all about the racist.
I'm all about racist jokes, but I'm just saying you didn't see it as much as you do today. It's
it's societal. Like we're just we keep on evolving as far as what we find offensive, and what is we're getting more away from kind of the puritanical roots.
Mm-hmm. Mm. So, what is going to be your ultimate goal? I mean, a lot of comedians seem to only be in comedy for a sitcom gig, for a movie type career. I mean, and then you got other guys, some of the long-standing ones like Dom Irrera. Or the late Richard Jeni, or any of these guys that sort of were just basically on the road, but made these, great six-figure salaries, and were always known just as a stand-up comedian. Is your goal to sort of segue your comedic career into something bigger? You know, your own show, your own movie type situation, or are you just looking to just do comedy for comedy's sake, and you really just enjoy the stand-up art?
Well, right now I'm writing for a sitcom, and I wrote for MTV's Ridiculousness last year. I like writing, but you know, I think eventually I'd like to do bigger and better stand-up. I'd like to become a better stand-up. I got, you know, I'm pretty young. I've only been doing it for like 8.5 years, and so I got a lot of learning to do. But everything is open to me. Although I'm not the greatest actor, that's kind of the muscle that I flex the least. But yeah, I mean, I really just want to do as much as I can. So if that means writing on shows, that's great. But if it means making my own show or eventually doing movies, that would be awesome as well.
That sounds, yeah. I mean, so it sounds like you're open to a lot of things. And one of the things that you just mentioned there is interesting to me, though, because obviously you're extremely talented. I've seen your stand-up stuff, but I'm just curious. Writing for Ridiculousness, you know, there's always been that sort of stigma surrounding that show that it's really just sort of a Tosh.0 ripoff. And I know that people say that Tosh was a ripoff of Talk Soup, but I don't really see it that way. But I'm just curious, to be doing that sort of job, is that looked at as like just, well, it's a job and it's, you know, a paying gig, or do you feel any sort of heat concerning the fact that a lot of people are saying, you know, it's a ripoff of something that's already out there?
Well, I mean, the funny thing about, I don't have any, I don't watch Ridiculousness. I really like Deerdeck and the whole production team that puts that show together, but it's, you know, nobody's pretending that show has any kind of real, like, a art to it. It's just, you know, it's entertainment, and mainly it's dudes getting hit in the balls. So, having said that, like, you know, it's a paycheck at the end of the day. I liked everybody I worked with. It was really fun. I mean, anytime that you're getting paid to just make jokes, you're kind of beating the system. But also, I mean, the truth about the whole Tosh.0 ripoff thing is that Deerdeck sold that show before Tosh was even on Comedy Central, even as a pilot. Deerdeck had sold it to MTV, and it just happened that they came out at the same time. And now there's, you know, 25 guys standing in front of green screen making fun of clip shows, so it's kind of a moot point.
Right, definitely expanding.
So what can we promote for you tonight? Where are you performing next, or what TV show or club, whatever?
Man, because I'm on this sitcom now, I'm writing on it. I'm not on it. I'm kind of around LA. Just if you go to my website, I got a calendar, and that's going to have my dates. I'll be on the East Coast probably in the late fall. I'm going to try to do an album early next year. And other than that, yeah, I mean, just check the calendar, mainly around LA for the summer.
Hey, Andy, I think we got a caller on the line for you. Do you mind taking a question?
Yeah, for you.
Okay, hello, you're on Corrosive Radio. What's your question for Andy Haynes?
It's not much of a question. Just this motherfucker better get funny soon.
Jeez.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
Andy.
Well, I don't know if that was the purpose of this
Yeah,
call, was to just entertain us. You should check out some of his specials.
No, Andy, I'm very sorry. Our screener's out tonight, but do you want to stay out of this conflict? I'll hang up if you want, Andy.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
I don't. What are you upset about, sir? You want me to be funnier?
I think you got to move your ass back to New York.
Well,
It's a weird more. I left New York because of this kind of thing. There's too much of
Yeah.
you guys.
Yeah. Now I'm listening. You can suck my dick.
And who might this be?
Yeah,
Who might
is this
this
a New
be?
York comic or something?
Sir, can you give us your name?
What's up?
Sir, can you give us your name, please?
Phil.
Phil?
Phil, I've heard of him.
Phil, okay.
Phil, the great
Very,
comedian
very
Phil.
renowned around the area.
Phil, I got to be honest with you. You're not exactly cracking us up here either.
Yeah, Phil, we're gonna hang up on you, and we're gonna go take another call for Andy. All right, hello, you're on Corrosive Radio. What's your question for Andy?
Oh, yeah, my question is, do you have a favorite type of shoe that you like to wear when you're on stage?
What a great
loafer,
question.
maybe a Velcro or a tie?
Wow, it can't get any more engaging than that, Andy.
Hey, listen.
So we'll take that.
You don't
That's
want
a
to.
good
You don't want to
question.
turn your ankle. Yeah, go
I
ahead.
wear sneakers on stage.
I like to wear Nike Air Max 1s, but
Nice.
I'll wear a Converse All-Star sometime, too.
You're all kicking it old school with the Converse, huh?
No clogs, huh?
No what?
No clogs. Seems clogs and Crocs are they're done.
Yeah, I try to stay away from the clogs. They're just heavy, you know?
Yeah. You want to be able, move around up there. You got to be free and unencumbered.
And also just the noise, just the wood clacking against the stage, that can just be distracting.
Yeah, why not just put carpet up there?
You can't just.
I mean, if I start wearing clogs, then I'll definitely ask for a carpet.
So,
kind of
are
demanding.
you gonna? Do you generally over the summer? You're gonna be doing a lot of stand-up gigs. Are you gonna use a lot of topical subjects, a lot of topical comedy and things of that nature, or are you just gonna stick to a pre-planned routine? I mean, how exactly does your whole writing process work?
Well, now that the special's out, I gotta start over. I'm sure that I'll have to repeat quite a bit just because if I go on the road and I'm doing an hour, I don't have a brand new hour all of a sudden, especially because I'm working, on other things. But yeah, it tends to be kind of just personal experiences mixed with like if topical stuff pops up, and I can think of a joke and it's funny, then I'll tell it as long as it's topical. I just got married, so I got a bunch of shit on that because.
Oh, too bad. That was going to be my next question. Was how the pussy is. I mean, now that once you get a Comedy Central special, I imagine that it's just the tail, the trim, just lines up for you. No.
Yeah, it was bad timing to get married. I'm going to be honest, but I got a hot wife. She's on MTV Girl Code. She's one of those broads.
Oh, really? Okay, so it's not that bad.
Hey, listen, and you know what? If she lets you refer to her as a broad, which is the best term for a broad, let's be honest, and you've got to keep her right there.
Yeah, she's pretty. She's pretty feisty. I can call her broad. She'll give it back to me. It's pretty fun.
Yeah. You definitely just stay away from the C word, though. I've learned
that
from my mom.
That only comes out when the stakes are higher, and I kind of need to put a period on the end of a sentence. You know what I mean?
All right, Andy, I got to ask you, in your time in New York, did you ever hear of a comedian named Pete DiLorenzo?
The name sounds familiar.
Okay, that's what everybody says. Nobody knows the act or any of the bits, but they all know the name.
What is he, a nightmare?
He's a comedian who thinks he's
trying to sue us.
Yeah, he's trying to sue us. He thinks he's on your level, and it's. If you want more information, just go to our website, corrosiveradio.com, and watch. Go ahead.
You said he's trying to sue you?
Yeah, well, he's trying to. He's threatening to.
Yeah. Why?
Because last week he called in, right, and we missed his call, so we called him back, and then somebody else called up impersonating him, and we didn't know who was who. So yeah, if you want to watch the if you want to hear the clip, go to www.corrosiveradio.com, and the YouTube video is on there. And we honestly didn't know who was who because Pete DiLorenzo was a friend of
not really.
Yeah, well, not really.
Don't say that.
A friend of Larry Sandberg, who was our former producer, and we had never heard him. So when these two guys called up, we was like, who's who? So they went at each other. And so obviously, during the week, I just kept getting threats from lawsuits, and that he was saying that the sheriff department is watching me, the NSA is listening, but I already knew that.
Yeah, I mean, hey, those days are called weekdays. Let's be honest. I mean, when doesn't that happen? So
I was just thinking what your opinion was of him, but if you don't know him, you know what? No surprise.
How does it work? Again, my mind might just be stuck on the whole situation of the sex. Jesus, I sound like I am about 72 years old, but of sex. I'm curious, are there really comedy groupies like we hear about?
Yeah, I mean there's comedy groupies in scenes, because New York and LA have whole comedy kind of culture or whatever,
sure.
Just people that hang out at comedy shows. You see the same fans. And there's definitely groupies within there, but then there's also, just occasionally, if I go on the road, especially as the headliner, there's always somebody that's hanging out, kind of throwing out the vibe of, I'm a cool lady that likes to do cool things. But yeah, the groupies, it's definitely not rock and roll. It's not a lot
I don't
of
think anybody's thinking that.
Not the Motley Crue days where a lot of them are, I don't mean to be offensive, but it's not like there's a lot of rockin' babes.
No, it's probably actually It's probably the same
Although
ones from.
occasionally I do walk off stage and I'm headlining. There's some really hot girl in the lobby that wants to hang out, and I have to slap myself in the face and go back to my hotel room and jerk off.
Wow.
Which
Nice.
is unfortunate.
Wow.
Well, at least you finish it off yourself. You don't have to worry about it. And then you go to bed.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this, every time I've jerked off, instead of going home with a girl, I instantaneously do not care about having not gone home with that girl.
Yes,
Sure.
exactly.
Right,
Because the sensation, it's done. And you would have ended up hating her anyway and feeling guilty about yourself and your betrayal towards your wife.
You do? You'd feel bad about? Wait.
And by the
of
way,
course you would.
by the way, you said every time that you've done that, so
Yeah.
there must have been a time where you didn't do that.
Well, I have been infidelitous in past relationships. I think that's the term. And yeah, I mean, the second you
There it is,
orgasm,
George Bush.
you feel horrible. You feel like a monster.
After the fact. After the fact. It's always after the fact.
Absolutely. During it, you actually feel quite nice.
Yeah, but not only do you feel like a monster, but Andy, have you ever experienced this? But that you end up hating the girl herself.
The girl that you're cheating with?
Yeah, exactly. You hate her because of what she exposed in you.
I resented the girl one time because she felt bad about having participated in the cheating, and she started guilt tripping me after the fact, even though she knew that I was cheating, and it had all been put on the line, and then she got kind of conscious about the whole thing, and I got pretty mad at her because we had carefully stated that everybody knew what was going on. Everything was water.
Right. You mean everything was up front. It was like there was almost like a contract sign, like that I have this situation and I know that you have this situation, and then
Let's
afterwards,
just have fun.
yeah, and afterwards is like, what the fuck did I just do?
Yeah, I mean, I felt bad, but we both, you just feel bad. You did a bad thing, because I cheated on a girl. I've only cheated on one girlfriend, and I cheated on her twice.
Who's the lucky one? Yeah. Twice in one evening.
Twice in one evening? Is that what you said?
Twice in 1 week.
Twice in 1 week. Okay, so every story, you basically just told us every cheating story you ever had.
Well, so there was the first one, and that was the girl that made me feel bad, and I was pissed at her because I was like, we both committed the crime. It's not like I duped you into helping me rob these people or something.
Right.
And then the next girl was like a girl that I had known all my life, and she was kind of, you know what I mean? Like she was
that
kind
doesn't
of a
count.
guy about her hooking up. Like she was very aggressive and cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that was great because we just didn't even, we hooked up, and then after it, we didn't even talk or anything. It was great. She just was like, I thought it was nice, and I loved her because that was what I was looking. I mean, the other girl too had it was a bummer because when we cheated, she acted like she was my girlfriend, and when you cheat on somebody, you don't want another girlfriend. You want somebody to act like kind of
Slutty.
like a dirty.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
You want to do gross stuff to them.
Absolutely.
Well, not all the
know what I
time. I mean, all the time. I mean, you've never been in a relationship and thought like you were in two of them at the same time because you love two girls? You never? Obviously, you've only cheated twice.
When
So
I
never.
was younger, I definitely, I'll get crushes occasionally now, but I haven't had where I was split between two women since I was in high school or college or something.
Okay.
But I don't know. I'm kind of a serial monogamous too. So
Right,
that's
yeah,
what-
Honestly, neither one of those sounds much like a cheat. I'm giving you passes on both of them. I mean, you knew the one girl for your whole life. That can't count for anything. I mean, that's fine. That's just like banging a friend. It could have been a dude. Let's be honest,
Yeah, I mean, I hope she wasn't a dude, just because so far she hasn't been. But you never know. I was kind of drunk. It was when I was drinking.
Oh, that's always the excuse.
Yeah.
Yeah. What if I was an Andy Haynes? That'd be hilarious right now.
Well,
If I
we've had
was
that
actually-
happen.
We've already experienced that once, so I wouldn't be surprised if it happens again.
Absolutely. And if you're
I
not,
don't
can you
know
call
what
back in?
This guy is suing you. What is he suing you for answering
he's
the
not.
phone?
That he can't
He's
sue
senile.
us. He has no other recourse other than to beat his chest and scream loudly. That's all he can do. He blew up the comment section of our page with 118 comments. Threatening to sue, saying that the feds were watching us, that his attorneys were on it, plural.
We wouldn't be allowed on the internet.
Yeah,
once
he said
gets done with
he said
us.
we wouldn't be allowed on the internet anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Joe
So-
Franklin was going to sue us. You remember Joe Franklin at all, Andy?
The name's familiar.
Yeah, that's about all anybody ever
That's
knows.
about
of him.
all that anybody knows around this guy.
Let's
There's
be
only
honest.
there's only like a nebulous, foggy familiarity about him.
Just say no.
So if it's true that I'm
These sound very funny.
exactly.
I don't know these funny comics that spend a lot of time looking for legal recourse.
Yeah, right.
And you know what the amazing thing, Andy? He's an impressionist. He got mad at somebody doing an impression of him.
Yeah, you gotta just kind of
Roll
take
with
that
it.
one on. Sounds
Roll
like
with
the
it.
guy's a pretty awesome impressionist.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, it was all right.
Let's get the website. To our fans.
Yeah.
It's
And,
not an awesome impression of somebody that nobody knows.
Yeah.
Right. That's what we were discussing before you called in. Is that if you're big enough to have an imposter, you should be, or an impersonator, you should be kind of happy. I mean, are there any Andy Haynes impersonators? That'd be great if there were, right? I mean, somebody doing, pretending to be you.
Yeah, that seems like they say the highest form of flattery is imitation.
Right.
Like I should be grateful for being the platform for which you could be gratified.
Yeah, can I impersonate you? That'd be great. Like, can I just take on that role right now? I'll just be like the East Coast version of Andy Haynes and, take care of any media obligations, anything else going on,
All right, Andy, I think Pete's calling in right now.
Is he really?
Yeah, this is Andy Haynes. How you doing?
Oh, no, it's Andy Haynes.
Andy Haynes, wow.
What are the chances?
I need you definitely to get this fraud off the phone.
Oh, God.
Now, the real
Again?
Andy Haynes was me. I've cheated with 3 girls in one night.
Whoa, Andy, that's the coxman we know and love.
Whoa.
So, Andy, when you're in New York, if that's the real Andy out there, which I know it's not,
It's not
I'm
because
Andy.
you're the real
I'm
Andy.
only kidding, guys. It's Pete DiLorenzo.
Oh, Pete, you fooled us again.
I told you I could imitate anybody.
Oh my God! Hey, for Andy, will you give him a lot of what? This is what the kids love. They love a good Archie Bunker impersonation. Can you
From
give them a little?
40 years ago.
Kids go crazy for this stuff. Go ahead.
All right, you ready, Andy? Tell me how good this is. I've been doing this impersonation for a good 34 years now. You ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, geez, there you meathead. But that Brett Eidman, he's one of my favorite Sammy Davis loving cartoon guys.
Andy, what's it?
He's a nice guy, but I gotta say that I don't know. You could do any voice, and I wouldn't know as far as Archie Bunker goes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
do
Andy,
this one.
that's
Do a little-
because he sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Sounds familiar.
Pete-
You know Pete DiLorenzo? Yeah, he sounds familiar. Joe Franklin?
Yeah.
Sounds familiar.
Pete,
Everybody knows Joe Franklin. He's in my movie, The Mentor.
Can you give him can you give him a little Al Pacino? Watch this now, Andy. You'll be blown away. Watch them after work.
I mean, all right, ready?
Oh my God, I love it
That
when
was
he does
tremendous.
that. Oh, look at him go.
I can even do a takeoff on that. I go up to a hooker, right? I go up to a hooker, get this, and I say to her, hoo-ah!
Oh my goodness.
That was almost creative.
It's almost as if you've improved since
Yeah.
the last time that we've spoken.
Now,
to you.
Andy, you don't usually go blue. So, do you think this is, sort of like below your pay grade here, or?
No, I do go blue quite a bit.
Oh, okay.
I just can't do it all the time. Like, I have some pretty foul jokes. I used to do a lot of, like, foul kind of sex and kind of extreme, what people might call, cringe humor.
Right.
Sure.
But, I'm just, I look like I say in a lot of my comedy, I look like a senator's nephew, so it
Right.
doesn't always sell.
Right.
Because I look like an evil white man saying evil things.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I got that same problem, guys. I got that same problem. Listen, I got some glue material, too. You ready for this? You ready?
Go ahead,
You ready
Pete.
for this?
Go
You ready?
ahead,
I'm going to do it. What's the difference? What's the difference between a black woman and a bowling ball?
We don't know.
If you
Sounds racist.
absolutely had to, you could eat a bowling ball.
Oh, jeez.
Oh goodness, Pete, with the old school blue comedy, but
I told that one time in front of Sid Caesar's friend's nephew. He laughed.
Isn't Pete suing you guys? This is bizarre.
No, this is very
amazing that
bizarre.
he should
I mean,
call in.
he's a little bit schizophrenic. You know,
Yeah.
he's deluded. He's not sure what time it is. He's not sure what day it is. Or
That was the imitator was suing
Pete.
you guys. Though.
That's right, that's
The
right.
guy who
Oh,
called
okay,
back
yeah.
last week and he was cursing, the imitator.
Pete, can you tell us? Can you regale us with some stories of red buttons, perhaps, or Mom's
Yes.
Mabley?
Red buttons, you got to see, when I was younger, now this was about 27 and a half years ago, one time I was sitting on the couch watching Red Buttons on TV. He was on a Dean Martin roast. And one time he said, for Pete's sake on there, and he was talking to me.
Wow.
He was talking to me, Red Buttons. So that's how I know him.
all right, wait, hold on, Pete. You got to let Andy speak because the two of you are talking over each other. Andy, go ahead. What were you saying?
I just said that joke made me feel older.
Yeah. Well, listen.
Why? Because you knew who he's talking about?
I mean, I've heard it like in history class.
There you go.
There you go,
Well,
yeah.
listen, you gotta pay homage to the greats of the business, as I'm sure you know,
Well,
Andy.
Andy, if you've seen a picture of Pete DiLorenzo, I mean, it looks like a petrified mummy.
Is that nice? Is that nice?
That's really not
I
nice,
looked
let's
good
be
that
honest.
day.
Yeah, exactly.
I looked good that day.
Hey,
that mullet.
Andy, can I
My
ask you-
mullet is awesome.
Let me ask you, Andy. Do you find it easier to get a lot of work when you have a large, like a plethora of clean material to go to? You know, you are one of those guys that you can just sort of clean it up for network TV. Is that something that really helps you in your career, or?
I mean, I started really dirty. I wanted to be like Doug Stanhope.
Sure.
And, yeah, I mean, you just can't get on TV if you're too dirty.
Right.
So if you can't get on TV, then you can't get those credits. I mean, some of the most brilliant comics are the guys that are going to say the worst stuff, like
Sure.
Stanhope. And, I mean, I think if CK wasn't as successful as he is, he may not, because he's on HBO, he can say whatever the fuck he wants.
Absolutely.
But it's obvious. I mean, you just can get on TV, so that makes it easier. But if you can be dirty and still do well, you're doing a much harder thing, I think.
Yeah.
Okay,
absolutely.
now Andy, can we do a little Pete DiLorenzo versus Andy Haynes for a second here?
Listen to me.
Sure.
I'm listening to
No,
this
no,
Andy
okay.
Haynes, and I think he's really good.
No, but
and I would love to
Pete-
extend
Pete-
an invitation for him to be in my major feature, The Mentor.
Right.
All right,
You would do
yeah,
that?
Pete, hold on, Pete. You got to be quiet for a second. Andy, I want to ask you a question. When's your next gig?
My next gig is tomorrow.
Okay, Pete. When's your next gig?
July 19th.
There you go.
Well, that's
And Andy, when's the next gig after that one?
Friday.
Pete, when's the next gig after July 19th?
I'm hoping sometime in 2015.
there you have
Okay.
it. There
All
you
right,
have
so
it.
I guess
Listen,
Andy.
they're both working comedians. We've established that. Okay?
So I guess Andy Haynes wins that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, well, I'm always working. I'm working on stuff. Don't forget, Andy may be doing stand-up comedy tomorrow and Friday.
Right.
But I have a major motion picture I've been working
Oh,
on
you
for
mentioned
21
that, right.
years.
Yeah, what,
That's
50 years now, Pete?
And can you
21.
tell?
Yeah,
21.
Hollywood's buzzing about it.
20, they're buzzing about it. I'm getting my West Coast investors, and by the grace of God, this movie will be made before the world ends.
All right, Andy, we got about 3 minutes before we got to end the show here. So is there anything specific you want to promote? Tell the fans where to go here?
Just make sure to check out Pete DiLorenzo's The Mentor.
Wow.
Okay.
You've got a
Thank
great
you.
recommendation.
Yeah, good
gracious.
sport, Andy.
Yeah, absolutely.
AndyHaynes.com, right? AndyHaynes.com?
Yeah, I am AndyHaynes.com,
I'm Andy
right?
Haynes.
Oh, I am. Andy
Yeah.
Haynes.
All right, nothing
I'm
else?
Andy Haynes.
Not-
Oh my God, Andy! There's two
There he
Andys.
is again.
My God.
I'm
It sounded
Andy
just like you.
Haynes.
Wow.
All right, Andy, is that it, man?
Cheated on my girlfriend twice.
Whoa, Andy, we've already been over that.
Andy,
I've
wait,
done
wait.
it
No, that's the
twice.
impersonator.
Oh, that's the impersonator.
No, wait,
Oh, I'm
hold on.
sorry.
Andy, are you cheating on your wife right now?
No, but if that
My
guy
wife
keeps
is
up
beautiful.
impersonating, I'm going to have to sue you guys.
Oh, no.
Get in line.
Can we
My
still use
wife
Google?
is beautiful, and I'm jerking off to her right now.
Oh my God.
All right, Andy, we're gonna let you go, man. Is that it? Is there anything else you want to get out there?
No, that's great, guys. Thanks a lot.
All right,
Andy, thank you so much for giving the show a little credibility.
Yeah, we hope
Hi,
you,
Andy.
we hope you come back soon, Andy.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
All
Thanks,
right,
you
take
too.
care. Bye-bye. Thanks.
Bye.
Now, that's a class act.
Okay, now
And Pete, is Pete
Class-
gone as well?
Yeah,
Yeah.
now Pete's...
Glad I could help. Glad I could help.
There you are.
Yeah,
Put
thank
my 42 years of experience into that conversation.
Pete, when we said that you lended the show credibility, we were talking about you.
You, yeah, exactly. That's what I was,
Yeah,
at least.
forget that, Andy.
Yeah.
Forget Andy.
Can you do-
It's about me.
Can you do your
Now, listen.
Andy Haynes impression get for us once again, though?
Andy Haynes. Now, I just learned it about 14 minutes ago.
I understand, but you are a pro.
I think that I can do it just from listening a little bit. It's he was talking about him jerking off,
Yes, go ahead.
right? So yeah. All right, ready?
Yes.
I was jerking off, and I was cheating on my girlfriend twice, but I have a beautiful wife who's on a TV show,
Wow.
and that's about all I got.
That's
really
really
good.
good. That's, yeah, I mean, I felt like I was
He got
talking
it-
to Andy
he
again.
got it all in.
Yeah, he
all
really
right,
did.
Pete, we got to let you go, man. Thanks for being a good sport and not suing us.
No, I'm not suing you because I'm Pete DeLorenzo.
Oh,
that
that's right, the
impersonator's
imposter.
going to be suing you.
The imposter is suing us for
so
saying
confused.
that he was somebody that
I
he
am
wasn't
too.
and making fun of that person that he wasn't.
That is so true. It's so true, but so wrong of him.
Okay, all right.
Pete,
Yes.
do you know Jackie the Joke Man?
I do know Jackie the Joke Man. One time I heard him on Howard Stern.
Only once, huh?
Where's the Jackie the Joke Man performing this weekend, Pete?
Jackie the Joke Man, from what I understand, and you will not get this on PeteDeLorenzo.com
okay.
because that schedule has tumbleweeds flying across it. But
Oh, that's okay.
if you went to Jester's Comedy Club NY.com,
Right.
you will see Jackie the Joke Man is there Friday night for a fundraiser for Afghanistan and Iraq war veterans.
Wonderful.
Okay.
You are a
$40 is
humanitarian.
going to be
Right.
appetizers, and then he will be there on Saturday night as well.
Wow, so you are a humanitarian because it says that on your website that you are a humanitarian. Now that you're doing this thing for those folks, that's a humanitarian effort.
I am very humanitarian, and you can tell by the humans I have trapped in my basement.
Ah,
Very good, right.
The
Very
humans you've
good.
terrorized.
So, so Jackie the Joke Man's up at Jester's Friday and Saturday night.
Friday
That's
and
Great. I know him. I
Saturday
remember him
night,
from
that
Howard
is
Stern
correct.
and from Jackie's Joke Hunt on Sirius Radio.
Guys, it's getting
That's
real hot in
correct.
this studio.
Thank you guys for putting that plug in for Jesters because I was supposed to play there back with Chris Haverson, and I pulled out like the pussy I am.
All right, no problem.
Easy there.
All right, but
All
Pete,
right.
Pete, we
So
got to let you go.
self-deprecating.
Thank you, Pete.
Thank you. Thanks
All right.
again. Great radio show, fellas.
Thanks,
Thank
Pete.
you. Thanks a lot, Pete.
Thanks. Good night.
All right, and ladies and gentlemen, we will see you next week. Take care.
Corrosive Radio.